يا قدس يا شدوى البلابل في فمي.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We are right now walking through the streets of the old city of Jerusalem. As you're aware that Jerusalem is the capital of Palestine, which is the homeland of the three major world religions, the Muslims, the Jews and the Christians. Now it's called the old city, or in Arabic as the Balad al-Qadima, was because the old city was the original city of Jerusalem up until in the 1860 when the city was then expanded. So now we have the city of Jerusalem, and inside the city of Jerusalem we have the old city. So it's a city inside the city. Now this Balad al-Qadima, or the old city of Jerusalem, it resembles the ancient past of the previous civilization. So when you're walking through the streets, it reminds you of how the streets were in the ancient time, since the time of the Umayyads, and then the time of the Abbasids, then at the times of the Ottomans. And you will notice that some of the areas inside the old city of Jerusalem, some of the walls or some of the tiles or some of the building have been existing for over 300 to 500 years. So all of the ancient landmarks of Jerusalem are inside the old city of Jerusalem. And when you go outside of the old city, then you will see many other advancements, you see many other tall buildings and so on. And the old city of Jerusalem is surrounded by a fortified wall which was built by Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. In the next clip I will share some more details about that. Now the size of the city is approximately 0.9 square kilometers, which corresponds to 0.335 square miles. This is just like a rough estimation. The population of the old city is about approximately 35 to 37,000 people, amongst which the Muslim comprise of the majority. There are four religious quarters inside the old city. You have the Muslim quarters, then you have the Armenian quarters, then you have the Christian quarters, and you have the Jewish quarters, amongst which obviously the Muslims comprise of the majority. Now the Muslims have always ruled these lands up until the year 1967, and now currently the city of Jerusalem, the old city as well as the huge city and the different areas are under the control of the Zionists. You have the north of Jerusalem, then you have the south of Jerusalem, you have the east Jerusalem, and you have the west Jerusalem. The north and the west have completely been taken over by the Jews in terms of population, so you'll rarely see any Muslim residences there. And the south of Jerusalem and the eastern Jerusalem, majority of the population is Muslims here. But in spite of this, they're still under the control of the Zionists. Now in the year 1948, when the state of Israel was declared, which marked the catastrophe, or known as the Nakba in Arabic, even when the state of Israel was declared, Jerusalem was still under the control of the Jordanian government. So they captured Jerusalem and they had control over this up until the year 1967, when Ariel Sharon he captured the old city of Jerusalem and as well as the surrounding area, and they've annexed this as the Israeli territory, so they have full control over that. So up until now it still remains under the control of the Zionists, because of which there's a lot of restrictions that are imposed upon Muslims. There's restricted access to them, there are restrictions against the Palestinians in terms of building houses, and if they were to leave, there are reports that where if they were to leave homes for a long time, then they'll see Jewish people or the Zionists occupying their homes, and because of which they've been evicted. Now the ultimate plan, the agenda of the Zionists is to take over eventually the entire city of Jerusalem by evicting all of the Palestinians from here and make this specifically as a Jewish resident. One of the recent example of this is, as may be aware, that in the previous year Donald Trump he announced for the transfer of the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, is because now they want to make Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So we do pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala preserve the Palestinians here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect Jerusalem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most importantly protect Masjid Al-Aqsa. Ameen. So now the Jordanians government, they no longer have control over Jerusalem except for Masjid Al-Aqsa. So Masjid Al-Aqsa, thankfully, it's still under the custodianship of the Jordanian king. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue this. Now what you see in front of you is the birthplace of the Virgin Mary Church, and it's believed that this was the place that where Sayyidah Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam was born, and the family of Imran. So this is the area that where the family of Imran used to live.